What's up, folks, man? It's the Heavy Hitters Radio Show.
Oh!
Yes, man, we are live at Stadium Tavern. I tell you what, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yes!
We're not doing that. Hey, this is Moose, a.k.a. Big House. I have a nut milk
Moose,
bag.
a.k.a. Badger.
I have a nut.
Your name the Big Badger this week.
No, it's not.
Moose, a.k.a. the Big Badger.
I'm mad about it.
And I'm the Bulldog.
You know what? I'm still go blue. What do you mean you the Bulldog? Because you
lost Notre Dame.
Okay, yeah.
Lost Notre Dame. But we put up more value.
No, you didn't.
We lost like, it was 23-17.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, Georgia pretty much ran the game.
That is not true. What game was you watching?
I watched that game.
We was winning.
So let me ask you something, man, because I did not see the game the week prior. Michigan struggled with Army or Air Force?
Everybody struggled with them. Everybody struggled.
They run that goofy ass triple option that you will never see.
Yeah, everybody struggles with Army. So
them jokers is magicians with the football. You don't know where is that.
Yeah, so I mean, we dropped down to 20.
They never finished above 500.
So Michigan dropped. No, Army. No, they was 11-1 last year. 11-2.
Yeah, Army's good.
11-2. They took Oklahoma, who was number 4, that went to the national championship game, to double overtime last year, and they took Michigan to double overtime.
Them jokers win a football game with 3 passes.
Right.
Damn.
Right.
It's a triple option. Like you don't know where the ball is.
That's real.
Right.
So you got to think that's one game a year. They play this style that you don't never play again, so you don't never practice for that.
Right, man. Hey, man, I tell you, Heavy Hitters Radio Show, man, we out here, man. That voice you hear, man, to my right tonight, which is kind of interesting. That's the one, the only man, the star of the show, LGZ Mbaku.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you, man. It's been I just want to say, I wish we had a censor button, but F. Daniel Jones. I just want to say that, put that on record, man.
Fantasy football,
man. He cost me. That last drive was a death knell to make me lose, and then Tyreek Cohen gave me nothing on Monday night. Trubisky's I'm a Bears fan. We 2-1.
Listen, man, how are Bears fans the whiniest winners ever? Y'all still whining about Mahomes and your
won. Yes.
Well, we're past that.
Yes. No, we're not past that.
You can't even go back. Why be bitter now?
We bitter because
you got to ride with the horse that brung you.
It's like you go to a party, right? And all your boys yo, them 2 girls over there trying to get at you. They trying to get at you. You like, nah, I'm cool. And you pick the one over here. And all of a sudden, she turned out to be the fat chick. She don't get no head or nothing.
But that's the one you chose.
You chose, yeah, exactly. And the other 2 grew up to be like, oh, we still want. And you could have had them, but you blew it. And they looking good.
Thank you.
They looking real good.
For sure.
Mahomes and Watson. You could have had them, and then you actually traded up to get this. Anyway, though, yeah, we the whiniest winners, dog. Yeah. You know the problem is, as Bears fans, we didn't see this movie before. We got a Hall of Fame defense. Probably the best defense in the league. And our offense is is whack. Like Khalil Mack right now is like on pace to be like the 20 greatest defenders. He's like Lawrence Taylor reincarnated again.
Damn.
You know, you're about right. And I tell you what, man, the other smooth voice you hear, man, that's the one, the only D-Lo. D-Lo G.
What's happening, guys, man? 2-week absence. Back today, man. Feels good to be with you fellas tonight.
Well, glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Hey, so I tell you what, man, tonight's show is going to be pretty amazing, man. We're going to talk about y'all president.
Impeach the president.
Donald Trump. Yeah, we're going to talk about him a little bit. We also got some news you can use, and I'm sure if Run gets here in time, we'll have some Run That News. But some news you can use will be about some of the climate change stuff and all that. We're gonna talk just a little bit about that. Man, there's fires in the oil fields in Iran, and we know. Are we gonna get into that or not?
Yeah,
that's the question.
Hold on, and then I got something funny for y'all, man. Y'all ready? Matter of fact, maybe I'll tell you now so you can prepare slightly.
Okay.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Thank you, sweetheart. What if the Brady Bunch was black, man? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that in the time.
It couldn't happen.
It'll be the
in the time period that happened. Just relax. Don't Don't let your single biases come out. Just think about it. You guys ready?
So wait a second.
Let's do the
So
show.
you mean to tell me a brother with 3 kids is about to link up with a chick with 3 kids?
Let's talk about it. Let's get there. I like it, man.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
I guess if it was black, it wouldn't be the Brady. It should be like the Grady. The Grady's.
The Grady bunch.
The Grady
Jenkins
bunch.
bunch.
All right. Anyway, all right. We'll talk about that later. All right. So you guys ready? Average radio show. Hey, so all right. President, your guy's president.
He's your president too, man.
No, he's not.
You're an American citizen.
Your guy's president. Last
we doing
week. I'm just doing it right now. And so here's what happened. There was a whistleblower. Jeezy, why don't you tell us what a whistleblower is?
Snitch.
And then will you, D-Lo, will you give us a definition of snitch then, please?
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, so I guess it goes to me
Antonio
now.
Brown.
Oh, God. All right, guys. Hey, a snitch is a person that is telling a secret that was not made for anyone else.
Sammy the Bull.
All right. So there was a whistleblower in the. It's funny how in the street snitch and the government whistleblower, right?
For sure.
So what they said was that Trump got a hold of a president in was it Pakistan or Uzbekistan or whatever
Pakistan.
it was. No, it wasn't Pakistan. It was
Ukraine.
It was like the Ukraine or something.
Yeah.
And so what he did was he said, "Hey man, I think you guys here's some stuff we got on Biden. I think you guys need to search him and check it out from what we're getting." And so at first they were like, "Nah, we didn't do that." And that's what's coming out. As a matter of fact, today it's coming out that they're like, "Yeah, it did happen." And from what I understand, there's impeachment proceedings happening. So, one, what do you guys think about your president reaching out to a foreign country, Eastern Bloc country, what they used to call, and kind of telling them, hey, here's the information on this guy that might be the next president?
I mean, I got to tell you, from my perspective, like the thing that kind of concerns me more than anything
What's up, D-Lo?
is the fact that our president is so cozy with Vladimir Putin, yet Putin continues to show aggression towards Ukraine. Trump has stopped aid and different packages from going to Ukraine. However, now he's asking the Ukrainians for help. Like I gotta feel like Vladimir Putin is doing a double take, and if you're somehow crossing him with the president of Ukraine, like I feel like he's setting us up for a messy situation.
Well, the problem with Trump is he's an idiot. That's first and foremost. And second of all, like I think that if he gets impeached, he might get criminal charges because you can't prosecute a sitting president until after they're out of office. So I think there might be charges brought up against him for treason and all kind of other crimes that he committed while abroad, man. I mean, it's scary to think that he is just completely abusing his power as president.
And he chooses to be oblivious to
Yeah,
it.
not to mention that he's making all of these government trips stay in his hotels. That's not even legal. Like, why is that even allowed
Right.
to happen?
Right, backdoor financing this airport to keep his hotel in business.
Dude, like Joe Rogan explained it best, man. Trump is the rebound president. He was like, because for 8 years we was married to the born, didn't do much, didn't go out, didn't have a drink, president. So then when you break up, now you want the crazy bitch to go out and bang in the parking lot.
Fine.
And bang in the parking lot and don't care about nothing.
All right, so real quick, there's a bunch of words we use. One of them is impeachment. Jeezy, I'm going to give a definition. What do we call definitions?
Yeah, that would be just a regular translation. That would be urban.
So it's not an urban translation, right?
I would hope that people would go.
All right, so impeachment in the United States is the process by which the lower house of a legislature brings charges against a civil officer of a government for crimes alleged to have been committed analogous, am I saying that right? Analogous to the bringing of an indictment by grand jury. Impeached.
You know, and I think from a distance, man, Run is absolutely right, man. This would be a great conversation to have layman's terms come on and explain that to us in a way that I can understand as a layman.
Which terms are you talking about?
Impeachment.
Impeachment, analogous.
Analogous. Okay. All right. I tell you what, we'll get him on the phone. We'll get him on the phone and we'll ask him. Is that cool with you guys?
Sweet.
All right. So let's talk about whistleblower. Whistleblower, also written as whistleblower, or whistleblower is a person who exposes any kind of information or activity that is deemed illegal, unethical, or not correct within an organization that is either private or public.
So this is not like Two Shorts Blow the Whistle.
This is
I'm just asking.
This is not like Two Shorts Blow the Whistle. No, it sounds as though your guys' president has really gone on paper, and it sounds like Pelosi and the group are saying, you know what, we are done. We are absolutely done with everything that you are talking about.
Is that the right move, being that the Republicans have such a majority in the Senate? Like, I just don't see how this is going to be a benefit or hold him somehow more accountable when he's got such a powerful body behind him in such a decent-sized majority.
All right, put it this way. Here's a Twitter from your president, Donald J. Trump. Such an important day at the United Nations. So much work and so much success, and the Democrats purposely had to ruin and demean it with more breaking news. Witch hunt, garbage, so bad for our country. That was 4 hours ago on his Twitter feed.
And he's the I feel like we're in a bizarro world, man. Like, your president should not be on Twitter tweeting policies or information, though.
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now. If I remember correctly, no president had a phone until Obama. Like, they didn't have a phone. Like, they had to give their phone up. And Obama said, "Hey, I want to keep my phone." And so they gave Obama a BlackBerry.
Yep.
To have
the government issued BlackBerry.
A government issued BlackBerry, correct?
Guess what Trump got?
And so he was able to use it. I'm not
An
sure.
iPhone.
An iPhone. he refused his iPhone. Not a government issued. His iPhone.
And he does business with some Asian communications company.
Huawei.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Who's
What's the
tied
name
to
of
the
it?
government. And
It looks like Hawaii when you see it. This is Huawei.
I mean, it's messed up because there's a potential that they're tapping his conversations.
This is unreal.
You know what? Post presidency, man, I'm kind of curious about the number of stories and the magnitude of the stories that come out of what's been going on in this White House.
Yeah, that's if number comes out.
And so, all right, guys.
Unless some White House intern writes a book or something, then they get killed.
Well, there's already a whistleblower, so.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. So we think about this whistleblower. I talked about a while ago on a couple of shows where there was a show on Netflix called
The Family.
The Family, right? Mm-hmm. And so it sounds to me like it's somewhat that Trump is trying to keep it rolling because Trump was the last president to have some influence from Co. But it sounds to me like they are trying to keep that going, and really, no one's able to stop it. And do you want to stop a situation where these guys have so much influence around the world that it helps the United States? I mean, in your opinion, obviously.
I'll let you tell that one, Jeezy, because I don't.
Come on, do you think the president should have that much influence around the world?
Yes.
Yeah,
the American president should.
For the longest time, America has been a beacon for hope, freedom, and the do-gooders. Like, we've been labeled as the do-gooders. So, it was that beacon of hope. But now, man, it's like Obama set up so many stations of goodwill where people was willing to do business with America, come on in with America. Like we had a president that people respected. Whether you liked him, whether you loved him or hated him, you at least respected him. Like Trump, I don't even think people respect him as president. I think there were people out there who hated Obama, whether it was because he was a black president or for whatever reason, but I still felt like they respected him as president.
Didn't Trump address the United Nations today or yesterday?
It was today.
Okay, yeah, I just saw a headline and it said he went there and was pushing the America First agenda, and it wasn't necessarily going over too well with the other dignitaries.
Yeah, no, it was today. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And so it was a Ukraine. Let me see here. And so here's the thing. He said, I am currently at the United Nations representing our country, but have authorized the release tomorrow of the complete, fully declassified, and unredacted transcript of my phone conversation with President Zelensky of the Ukraine. So he's saying, hey, I'm talking to the United Nations, but guys, I'm gonna let you guys know what's up. And here's the thing. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I think it's one of those things where if you go back to the family, it said that part of what they wanted to do was essentially make sure that our policies, when I say our, I mean the United States, now not necessarily mine, but people from the United States were giving the opportunity to spread, here's how they did it, spread Christian influence.
Wow.
Christian influence around the world that benefited the United States.
This sounds like colonization.
Yeah. Again, pushing our views on other people.
All right, so guess what happened though? From that, guys, from that we have air bases or military installations, several places in Africa, several places in the Middle East, several places around the globe that we didn't have before. Because Doug Coe, who was the founder, was that kind of influential leader. What's the matter with having an influential leader that is trying to spread American Christian values around the globe?
I mean, there is nothing. I mean, the thing is for me personally, as an American, like I get it. While we do it, if I was in the country, I wouldn't like it because all you're doing is plotting to get your foot in my house, so one day you can take it over.
Yep.
Or you can influence things that go on here, or influence you on things that don't concern you. That's all it is. I mean, so we use our values, our way of thinking to influence, to get in to these places, so that if something pop off, we got easy access to get there. We got airstrips. We got friends that we can use.
Yeah, that's kind of what power, right? That's kind of what power is all about, right?
Yeah, you want to have friends in high places so that are able to help you in your time of need. You know what I'm saying? So, because like right now, that's what China is right now positioning themselves around the globe to be the new America, the new beacon of hope.
They certainly seem to be getting that respect.
Because what they're doing is they're giving money to Africa to build infrastructure. They're giving money to Venezuela to build infrastructure. They're basically giving money to all these countries around the world, helping them build infrastructure. So in turn, what happened is they become friends with China. Like they know we're now friends of China. We do business with China. We have the same principles as China. So what happens is once China be like, all right, stop doing business with the U.S. Stop doing this with the U.S. So they got so much money You can be like, no, I ain't gonna turn my way. I ain't gonna turn away from this money. So I'm gonna stop doing business with the U.S. because Trump throwing these tariffs and throwing all this stuff on, so they can overthrow it by just creating these friends and these bases around the globe like we was doing.
And I think that's the real hit that Trump is afraid to take financially. And the more countries that stop doing business with America, I think that's where you really kind of start seeing him uncomfortable in the public.
Right. Right. That's the real issue.
You start seeing Trump. Okay, here's the thing. So if you think about Doug Cole, he's the person that kind of started.
You said
the
Doug
family.
Jones?
Doug Cole.
Oh, okay.
I think you say who?
Mike
Jones. Right, I'm trying to cue you guys. All right, so Doug Cole, man. All right, so he founded what's called the Fellowship, and the Fellowship is kind of what ran the political influence in private diplomacy around the world. And I'm talking about it stretched from Anwar Sadat. You guys are probably too young to remember him. The National Prayer Breakfast was started back in the day. The Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda and all those things you've seen on the news over time. We were a part of that. We were always a part of that, but we were there as missionaries of Christ, is from what kind of what they were saying,
Right.
as the chosen ones, right? As the chosen ones to help. And every president we've had since then has been a member of that. I wish I could go back and find out which, because he passed away. He passed away in 2017, so he even had influence on Trump. And so he goes from Trump all the way back to, holy cow, I'm not sure. Probably in the 40s. Whoever was president in the 40s. So, is this a situation where we actually need people that are in charge and that are influencing the world like that? Don't we need those people?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
I think we do. But at the same time, if I'm them countries, I wouldn't listen to us. But
why not? We have money. We have resources. We have opportunity. We have protection.
That should come with a price.
Yeah.
Come with a price.
And blessings.
Yeah.
As you can read the book. Matter of fact, guys, I'm gonna purchase the Jesus book. I see it on sale here. Jesus, the Only Way. Let me see. I'll tell you the name of it.
I'm kind of glad you brought up Jesus, because I heard somebody make an interesting point as far as the world's perspective being so dominated by men, that they made the point that how is it that everything in society has fallen downward from the start of humanity in terms of assigning man as the first man, the chosen one.
Yeah, the chosen one. Yeah.
However, making woman the very first sinner and the first person to, or the person responsible for causing sin on earth. So they've assigned that to women. They said that society has literally been started and built around the concept of man as the head, woman is the center, and we've put women in a position that says that they're limited because we were the chosen one and they were the sinners.
So D'Lo looking at me like he know I'm about to go in.
I think you should.
You know I'm going to go in, right?
You should.
All right, here we go.
This is just
First of all, why?
Pineapple.
Why? I'm not going to.
Yeah, what's pineapples, D-Lo?
Say.
Pineapples is the heavy hitter's safe word.
What it boils down to is that when men are put in this position, because first of all, we are the dominant species. So in any form of life, the most dominant species is the leader. We agree with that. Even the Black Widow, she's a
but with a physically dominant
creation. So because we're physically dominant, I mean we can take it whenever we want to.
But that also discounts any sort of mental capacity in somebody
Yeah,
else's
but back-
brain power
but-
to outsmart you.
but
Just
when-
because you're stronger doesn't mean that they can't trick you or take your power.
when you are forming countries, when we are forming, back when them things was forming, everything was based off brute strength. Who had the biggest army? Who had the most people that can fight? It wasn't real strategic. It was like, no, I got more men than you because we gonna stand here, y'all over there, we over here, and we gonna fight. But it's more of me, so because it's way more of my people than your people, we gonna win. You got 20,000 people in your army, I got 100,000. You losing every time. We gonna take you over because you ain't got enough bodies. We got enough bodies. It's cool. We got bodies to spare. You don't. So after a while, we knock down 5 or 10,000. You got 20 left. You got 10 left. It's over with. There's really no strategy to that. It's like, no, we're just gonna overrun you, and so you can't stop it. So as men being the physically, like you say, the physically stronger species between men and women, that means that we are more of the ones that are building, that's creating, that's building infrastructure. We are the ones that's doing all of that stuff.
But is that from our vantage point because we're men and it works to our benefit to think that way?
I mean, tell me, a building you've seen that's built by a woman. Tell me that.
Tell me how many opportunities women have had to build buildings.
It's plenty opportunities to do that stuff.
Are we putting up buildings left and right now?
Every time I drive past a construction site, know what I see? I see men.
That doesn't mean that the woman didn't
mean that
organize
the woman
it.
wasn't the architecture.
Are we not talking about physical? Without men building the actual building, nothing is getting built. Not the actual building, then nothing's getting done.
I don't know, man. I thought it was an interesting perspective. I mean, because completely, if you use the Bible, and the very first day we were here on Earth, to assign, who's dominant based on physical strength, and you never take into accountability, that women have brains too.
We're not saying that.
But you specifically assign them the reason for sin in the world, which has to carry a lot of responsibility to assign women as the reason that we even have sin in the first place. So we're justified and forgiven as men because we're the dominant chosen one.
We're the dominant, but let's be fair. I'm gonna say this, and I want you to hear me. Women always complain about having importance, but y'all don't realize that women has the most important job on the planet. The most.
Have babies.
You produce everybody here on Earth came from you. It don't get no better. It don't get no more important job than that. Every human being on Earth has come from a woman.
I mean, but come on, man. Are women not more valuable than their reproductive systems? Because we plant the seed. So that's like saying, our most important job is to plant a seed so this woman can have a baby.
D-Lo, if a baby came out of a penis hole, dog, there would be like 6 people on Earth. It would be over with. We're not doing it. We're not putting our bodies through that. So that's kudos. Like, they have an important job. We're not doing it.
6 people?
It'd be 6 people.
I think it'd be one.
We're not doing that.
It'd be like who did a Future in Your Front? What was his name?
MC Breed.
It'd be MC Breed. It'd be like one hit wonder.
It's it. It's over with.
So
we're done.
We wouldn't even made this.
That whole open house,
That's not fair.
It's done.
That's
we're
not
done.
fair, Moose. He was more than
so
a
that's
one-hit
an important
wonder.
job. That's a very important job to the
Please,
survival.
you got to get mine. You got to get yours with Pac.
Oh, that's true.
That's a classic, and that was his song.
I'll give you that.
The survival rate depends on
that's why I
women
enjoy the heavy
reproducing.
hitters, by the way. All right, so no, I get you, man. All right, so here's
there's a more important job than that.
All right, so listen, so like when we talk about the family and how that was, it was the book that I'm going to purchase. What's tomorrow? Wednesday. I'm gonna purchase it tomorrow. It was loosely based, which is tripping me out, on the same thing they were taught. It was the kind of the teachings of Hitler, Lenin, and Mao. Now, not Hitler's genocide. That wasn't the thing, but it was the strength that they emulated. It was the strength of the leader, of the chosen person. And I'm gonna get back to that.
I mean, people.
I think in every situation, Jeezy, there is a chosen situation. There is kind of a belief structure that you have, and then that is the way that everyone else goes along with it. which is effective in leadership.
Can we agree that when it comes to, like, we did listen to the speech and how the power structure, whatever, like, there are things that are put in place to minimize men in general, and there's things that are put in place to minimize women. There are things on both sides. Things that are put in place. And what
I'm sorry, did you say there's good people on both sides?
Can you give me an example of something that minimizes
every
men?
show that you watch on TV, every show that you turn on, every last one of them, how many, what do you see? Every sitcom, what do you see? What is the man? He's the buffoon, he's the idiot, he's the clown of the show. Am I right? Every last one of them. Name me a sitcom where he's not that role. He's not that.
I don't have an answer for
This Is Us.
That's not a
Comes on
sitcom.
tonight.
And even that show, I never watched the show, but it's not a sitcom. A sitcom is situational comedy is what a sitcom movie. So every show, the man is the buffoon. He's an idiot. He makes all the bad decisions. I mean, you can watch King of Queens. You can watch all these shows. The man is made to look like an idiot. And then all of a sudden, the woman comes here. She's a rational woman that saves the day. Every show you see on TV, you see a woman drop kicking a man in the face, punching him down, all that kind of stuff. But in real life, that will never happen. Never happen. It got to the point where people thought that Ronda Rousey could beat Floyd Mayweather. That's how far that it went with people looking at movies and watching TV and say, "Oh, she's a badass." Yeah, that's a script and they're acting. It's not real life. Ronda Rousey is not even coming. Will not even get two hands on Floyd Mayweather. It won't happen. But you have people in their mind believe it because of what TV preaches about how men are stupid buffoons, whatever. So that's part of it. So then we look at. So what happens is it spreads us out and gets away from what our role should be in the house, in the marriage, or in whatever. We get away from that. Like I said, I did a wedding. I did a wedding a couple of months ago, and it was the most logical thing I ever heard about. I know how to say the men the head of the household.
Yeah.
How he explained it, as Ron hates, got the stank face, but she'll like what I'm.
No,
what
this
I'm
is
saying.
just my face.
So what he was saying was, when he said man are the head of the household, it doesn't mean that he's better than a woman. What he's saying is, he's the head, she's the heart, and without either one of those, it ain't gonna work. You can't live without a heart. You can't live without a head. So the two of those together creates the house. No role is bigger than the next. Like, so and that's the whole point. Is like we are so caught on combating against each other instead of saying no. I accept my role, you accept your role, and together we can grow this thing bigger than ever. But if you're always trying to do my role, and I'm trying to do your role, it'll never work. You can't have two quarterbacks calling hype. There's one quarterback. He throw the ball to everybody on the field, his receivers, he got his running back. It's his job to distribute the rock. You can't have two people under center with four hands trying to hike a football. It won't work. So everybody has a role on the team. And those who don't have a role are the ones that ain't got a role to be in the first place. They rolling by themselves. And that's cool. That's their choice.
Man, I tell you what, man, you listen to Heavy's radio show, man. We always hit hard. Tonight's going to be funny, by the way, folks, here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to totally throw a moose turn in this thing. You guys ready for this?
Let's do this.
From what I understand, what I've seen here recently in the literature, they're going to classify aging as a disease.
Why?
Can you get benefits for it?
Which means that they're thinking that they can find a cure for aging.
I don't want that cure.
You want to die?
I don't want to die like tomorrow, but I think I know the direction the world is moving in, and I don't want to live in that forever.
And folks, by
also,
the way,
I've seen Death Becomes Her, and it doesn't end well.
And folks, by the way, that's funny. And folks, by the way, that's that female voice here. That's the one they only run.
EMC.
Hi guys, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
I don't know. I would not want to live forever.
I do.
I don't even know.
As long as I can.
man, I don't know that I want to live another 60 years.
So imagine this.
16?
60.
So imagine
Did
this.
I just have black mouth?
Very good.
Oh
She
my
said,
gosh.
she said mouth. Hey, so
I said mouth.
Imagine this. Imagine this. So imagine they find the optimum age, and a young fella asked me this yesterday. He's like, man, because I'm a full decade older than him, and he knows that Moose has some ailments. He says, when did you start feeling those ailments? And I'm like, man, I start feeling this at this age and this at this age. And, sometimes now the age I'm in now, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, like I heard that. Like I hadn't been able to sleep. So, imagine if they could find the optimum time when your body could heal on its own. Remember, you guys, everybody remembers that time when you did strenuous activity, and then you woke up in the morning and you still felt great. You ran 5 games of hoop, full games of hoop, and plus kicked it that night, and you wake up the next morning, you still feel great. Imagine if they stopped your aging at that, your body maturing at that point.
I'm 12 years expired then. Shit.
Right, man, you never lying.
And so, I feel like, and this is Moose's thoughts about it. I think that from a biblical standpoint, you're still going to expire. I mean, the goal for us is to get back to heaven. I think your heart being a muscle, and don't get me wrong, if they can stop muscles from, but this muscle's working from the time that before you even, when you're in vitro, right? It's working already. So it's almost like sounds like they feel like they can stop that heart from running out, stop your brain, which is a powerful muscle, from stop to all the plaque and everything building up. I mean, would you want that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, sign me up too.
I'm the same guy that said that I want to transcend. Like before I go, man, hook me up.
You want to
what? Transcend.
Oh, okay.
Hook me up to the end. Now, not be a transgender. Transcend.
You always one of those alphabet people.
Hook me up to an iOS system, dog, and I can go on, man. I can give me some AI internals, man. I'm good. I'm good to go.
My vote is that we release the cure for cancer before we release the cure for aging. And I would also just like to say, let us not forget the history of the United States. So for me, knowing what I know, if I was a black man, I would not sign up for this. God only knows what those side effects might be. Our government injected black men with syphilis. I personally would not go into a trial of any sort. Just throwing it out there.
I'm willing to sign up for the post-trial after.
Yeah, nobody said I'm doing the trial or anything.
And I'm cool with it being a disease as long
Who's
as...
doing the trial?
Somebody else can do the trial.
Exactly.
There's a bunch of homes, you give them a couple dollars, man, to try them out.
What they got to lose?
You got to lose, dog. Give them a couple dollars. Come and give them this drug and see what happens.
Listen, at this point for me,
got a couple of soldiers.
It can be classified as a disease if it's going to help me, especially if there's no cure for reversing this aging process. That's a disease.
And the thing is, man, if reincarnation is a real thing, to me, everybody at this table has won the genetic lottery, whether you believe it or not. You was born in a country, man, where you can do whatever you want to do, be what you want to be. You could be born somewhere else, but you don't have those opportunities. And there's tanks coming through your yard.
Swizbekistan.
Yeah, I mean, you could be born somewhere, man, where there's no hope.
Can you imagine? Could you imagine what it'd be living like if you lived in Swizbekistan?
No, something like that.
What would it be like?
No.
In Swizbekistan?
Yeah, or being born in South America somewhere where
nothing. All right, that's cool.
I think you'd live in Technicolor.
In Swizbekistan.
We can say what we want to, but we can sit here right now and openly bash the president openly on the podcast and say whatever we want to openly. In other countries, it would be like a bomb would just drop down right in the middle of our table. It's over with. or some snipers that come around and end us right now.
I don't think we bashed him. We just said
No,
we don't agree.
I called him an idiot, though. That's bashing.
We don't
We've
agree.
criticized.
You
him.
called him. You see it as not my president.
He's
And
not
in a
my
lot of
president.
countries, you can't even.
You can't even do that.
criticize
You can't even
Oh,
do
I
that.
denounced him, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
can't
And
do
you
that.
also
Yes, I did.
you also disrespected him by not acknowledging him as your
As
president.
your president.
I did. I disrespected him.
Also, you just called him Donald J. Trump, so I
Yeah.
think probably
What's his
not.
name?
But probably not addressing him as President Trump would also be seen as disrespect.
Is he gonna call me Mr. Is he gonna call me Mr. Moose?
Yes.
If you're
I
in
guess Mr. Big House.
Uzbekistan and
It's Wee's
all of them,
Bakistanistan.
yeah, if you're there,
I can't believe I can remember how to say Wee's
I
Bakistanistan
know. Of
every
all the
single
things,
time.
that's what you're.
And I remember it every time. Hey, folks, listen to Heavy Airs Radio Show, and man,
Yeah, the sale is, I don't want to take my chance of coming back and being born in some.
we're not even talking.
in
We're
the
not even talking
Philippines.
about. We're not even
No,
talking
you're saying the
about.
heart is being a disease with a cure where you don't have to age.
Yeah, you just
so I
stay,
can
you
stay
stay
here.
at your optimum time.
Yeah, I can stay here, and I'm good. I'm cool here, though. That's cool.
You good with that?
I'm good with
All
that.
right,
man.
you say so.
so
Hey,
what,
folks.
what's your take on this, Moose?
Yeah, do you want it?
Well, you know what? When is optimum time for you to stop aging?
40s, like mid 40s.
You
Now, I
think?
want to be. You can't play basketball no more very well.
I would say
You
between
know?
the ages of 27 and 33.
Exactly. And so, what about your brain? I want your brain to be. I would like
brain's
for
got
I want my
to be-
brain now in my 27-year-old
I want
body.
my.
But I want my brain to continue.
And
Like,
that's the issue.
I want the 90-year-old brain with all the life experiences, for sure.
I want my 40-year-old brain in my 27. I mean, I won't be unstoppable, dog. Y'all can't tell me. I'll be like young Shelton.
His name is Sheldon.
Yeah, that too.
Whatever it is,
Shelton.
yeah.
Shelton's a black man.
Nobody watches that. Yeah.
No, it's a lot. I got renewed.
Yeah, man. Hey, so do we got any news?
We
real
do
quick?
have some news.
All right, why don't you run that news?
I will.
And I want to hear your thoughts on Bill Burr. You said you watched it. I want to
Did
hear
you
your
guys
thoughts.
talk about
I will.
Antonio Brown? I don't think so because I tuned in. You guys didn't talk about him? Yes, no?
No.
All right, well, we can finish there. Let's finish there.
We can stop, finish there.
I was going to say start, but I think let's finish there. Okay, have you guys seen Making a Murderer on Netflix?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. Yes, and
Okay,
I'm
so they're working on another season, and so the rumor is that now there is a new confession, and so the Department of Justice is doubting that, and so the director has now come out and given full context to this new confession that Stephen Avery put out there. And she said that, so the DOJ said they had confirmed a confession to the murder of Teresa Halbach from
The Department
Avery.
of Justice.
Yeah, what'd I
All right.
say?
No, you go.
Oh, okay. I thought I said something else.
No. It's
And so, if you have seen this, you know the story. But if you haven't, essentially, Stephen Avery lived in a small town, and so throughout his life, it is painted and portrayed to the viewers that the police were always trying to pin something on him, and they were like these
there
violent
was.
sexual crimes.
oh, there was.
And so my favorite part of the whole, I'm just going to throw this in there. My favorite part of the whole series is, okay, so this photographer for a car magazine comes to their lot because they have like a family car lot, and she's going to take pictures. So she ends up being murdered. They don't find her for like 3 days. But as they're doing this investigation, the police officers are in Stephen Avery's trailer, and they had been in there like 3 different days. And on day 3, they just like magically found her keys laying in the middle of the floor, as though they've passed by them
Yeah.
2 other days. Anyway, moving on. So he has been in jail for quite some time now, and he got a new attorney who specializes in people who have been wrongly accused and proving their innocence. So I think it will be very interesting when this new season comes out. Essentially, the producer says that, you know, it's all going to be okay for Stephen Avery, and this new confession is not true, and they're not going to be able to keep him in jail, blah, blah, blah. My guess is that they will find a way to keep him in jail. And do you want to, D-Lo and Moose, have you seen this?
No.
no.
Do you know his race?
Folks, it's that amazing game show that we play on Heavy Hitters Radio Show. It's Guess That Race.
Go.
I'm going to say Stephen Avery.
I wish I hadn't said his name.
Stephen Avery is going to be a black man.
How old do you think he is?
And Stephen Avery is well now.
Yes,
now he's 48.
D-Lo.
Let's go Caucasian guy, 37.
He is a white man in his 50s.
Oh,
Dude, this might be the unluckiest white dude in the history of the white dudes.
Their whole family, because his...
He got out of jail. He got out off that murder, and then they went back for some drinking and driving or some goofy. Because the judge was like the judge, the DA, the sheriff.
They're like, yeah.
All them dudes against him, dog.
Yes.
All of them, dog.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
he got money. He got
Manitouk,
he got a settlement.
Wisconsin.
He got a settlement, and he got like all this money, and this idiot stayed in the town.
Yes. Can I have a Jack and Diet, please?
Jack and Diet.
Yep. Yeah, so he's white. Anyhow, moving on. Jeezy, I picked this story just for you.
What's about the Muslim on the airplane?
No, but do you know Terrence Howard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he says that he is standing up for all the men out there as he battles his ex-wife. And I was like, this story is Jeezy. He says that karma's coming for his ex-wife, but he'll pay the $1.3 million. So that's a lot, first of all.
That's all he has to pay?
Yes.
He ain't got money like that.
You don't think so?
No.
It's hard out there for a pimp. Made him a lot of money.
That was a good movie.
Hustle and Flow made him a lot of money. So
never
if
seen that.
he can pay a $1.3 million to be
he was
done,
Iron Man too, the first Iron Man.
Exactly. He was
He's the highest
exactly.
paid actor, but I mean he spent money too, so he's liquid capital.
Well,
I was talking about the two Muslims on the plane that smiled at each other, and they didn't plane the plane because of it.
They didn't plane the
They made
plane?
him get off.
They deplaned the plane.
That's not what I heard.
They smiled at each other and they made him get off.
No, they made everybody get off the plane.
Well, you know what? I'm not mad at that.
I am.
Do people feel like they were conspiring?
I am.
I was on a plane.
Man, I spent a whole day talking about this.
I was on a plane where I was nervous about, every time I
No, I don't like that, man, because we ain't number 30 years from that being us. Like we ain't that far away from being treated the way that we treat them.
But we never took down a plane.
No, I don't mind about that, but being treated wrong because of your race, your belief is still wrong. I don't care who it is.
I'm
man.
with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't too far removed from that, dog. From that being like, oh, can I get some pie? Oh, we got a nigga pie. How much on the white folks pies? The nigga pies.
Oh gosh,
I don't like that word.
I'm not sure what's happening.
You ever seen Life?
You got any more running?
You ever seen Life?
Yeah,
I do.
Of course, but I don't remember. I don't remember
how much
all
on
the
the white
layers.
folks pies?
Matter of fact, somebody said today.
I have no idea what you're
How about I
talking
turn you in a nigga pie?
You probably never seen that, but hey, somebody.
Because I'm white or because I'm young?
That was one of the best scenes of the movie, dog.
All right, so wait. So somebody talked about.
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember right now. I'll remember in a little bit.
Okay.
News.
When they see us at the Emmys, did you guys watch the Emmys last night?
No.
Okay. So you guys know how much I loved When They See Us and how much I sobbed during When They See Us Now because I told you guys all about it. So last night at the Emmys, the actor who played Corey Wise won an Emmy.
T'Challa.
Who's Corey Wise?
That guy is
Corey
like
Wise
the
is
young
one of
Merlin
the-
Santana.
Corey Wise is one of the exonerated 5.
Is he black?
Yes.
The exonerated 5, of course. Yeah, you know that part.
The Central Park 5?
I never saw the thing.
You have never heard that story,
I
though?
heard the story, but I've never seen it.
Okay, but so if you heard the story, you should know they're black. So, the actor who plays the black people is also black.
Is he the one that cries a lot?
He doesn't cry a lot, but he has a learning disability.
In real life? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about dudes in Black Panther, but never mind, that's two different people.
No, different person.
Okay.
So, so this actor is really, really good. Like, Jeezy, you need to watch When They See Us Now, or When They See Us. I don't know why you refuse to. It makes me kind of
It's
mad.
on Monday, right?
What?
It's on Netflix.
It comes on Monday?
No.
What day it come on?
It's
on
just it's
Netflix.
on Netflix. It's just a 4-episode
Oh,
series.
come on. I'm just saying when they see us.
Yeah. You're thinking of This Is Us. It's on
No.
Tuesday. It's on Tuesday. It starts tonight. It is being recorded as we speak. Look, I knew exactly where you were.
Yeah, if I'm mind went to
Like,
I'm
no.
not watching
But
that.
there's
I don't do
there's a black family.
I don't do struggle
There's a
porn.
black
You know what?
family, and This Is Us too.
You know what though?
Yeah.
I've never seen This Is Us, but I feel like
Yes, you have.
it's a bunch of people complaining about being fat, black, and gay.
No.
And if you're one of those things, then they're mad about it, and that's kind of how This Is Us
I
is.
told you, man. I'm off the struggle porn, man. I don't do. I do.
No,
uplifting.
and there's
Yeah,
not
I'm
a gay
sick of it.
person.
Yeah, I'm sick of like saying black folks get hit with stuff and sprayed with stuff and wrongly. I'm saying
Yes,
I want to see uplifting. Can we have a balance? Can we have like some uplifting? Like, oh yeah, this black guy invented, the steel
Peanut
candy.
butter.
I'm gonna talk about that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we can have more uplifting. It's too much one side.
Yes.
Go, run it.
All I wanted to say was that the actor's name is Gerald Jerome, and he's wonderful. And Jeezy, you need to watch When They See Us.
No,
Hey, so I tell you what, real quick before we get moving,
Oh, and then we need to talk about Antonio Brown.
we also have to do Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
yeah.
We'll
Some more
forget
negative
him.
black news,
So
yeah.
we also have to do our famous segment. Jeezy, what's our famous segment?
Rules and reviews.
Brews and reviews, yes. And Moose has some.
What?
I want to hear taking Bill Burr.
Are you guys ready?
I have one too. Yeah, go.
All right, so I'm not gonna do Bill Burr first. I'm gonna do what has become one of my favorite shows, and it's the Wu-Tang Saga on Hulu.
Somebody else just told me I need to watch.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I just finished the first episode. It's about 5 episodes in. I am not a binge watcher, so I'm in one episode. I started the second episode. Matter of fact, the second episode hasn't started, just like the credit, like the trailer. And so I tell you what, that first episode was amazing, and you can almost see these characters as they develop, like who's who, because they're young, so they don't look like RZA and the Chef and all those guys
It's on
right
Hulu?
now. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the only reason that I have Hulu is because they've embraced Wu-Tang. So when their first little video came out on Hulu, that's why I got Hulu. And so Wu-Tang, you are responsible for me paying my $5.99 a month for Hulu, because I really don't watch any of the shows on there except for that, and I catch old episodes of Jimmy Fallon.
And If That's Delicious. That's on Hulu.
I forgot I did watch that on and pardon me, Pineapples real quick, but fuck, That's Delicious, man. Was an outstanding show. I talked about that
Yes.
on the show. All right. and so my next bruise, and by the way, Hulu Wu-Tang, 0 bruise. I say you watch it in the morning while you're brushing your teeth. Like, it's one of those amazing ones. If you have a TV in your bathroom,
'Cause everybody
you should watch
does.
it. Yeah, that's how you do it. All right. My next Brews and Reviews, guys, is Bill Burr. His latest comedy sketch on Netflix.
Paper Lions
is fire, man. Paper Lions is fire.
It's fire.
And he's such a good comedian. He's aware of what's going on in the world. He is a pilgrim man that is not afraid to talk about any and everybody.
Everything, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I appreciate that. Now, does he get a pass because he's married to a sister? No. Because he talks about her too,
Yeah.
her bad attitude, and
Yeah.
he talks about his child. Now, he doesn't have a good relationship with her because he does what he does or whatever. And so, no, Bill Burr, I would say I'll give that a 0 brew too.
Bill Burr.
Now, if you want to just really like choke out yourself, then go ahead and have a couple brews while you watch it, because it's just fun entertainment, man.
Yeah, Bill Burr has been one of my favorite comedians for a long time. Like Bill Burr. I tell you, if you want to have a good night, start with Joe Rogan's stand up. Do a Joe Rogan, go Chappelle, go Bill Burr. It's a great night of comedy right there, boy. Great night. You'll be holding your side. You can't breathe all night, man.
I agree with you.
So I recently watched Hello, White Privilege, It's Me, Chelsea. And it was Chelsea Handler, and she was exploring her life adventures because she's like just now realizing that white privilege has played a role. And so it was interesting. I was slightly disappointed. A couple parts of it I had some real struggles with.
Because you wanted some sort of...
That's because I wanted
Call
a
to
call to
action
action
or
at the end. If you are going to make a documentary for Netflix about racism, you should have a call to action. If you're going to use
that's
your
reasonable.
fame and your white privilege in order to put this out, have a call to action.
Because otherwise, you're still piggybacking on your white privilege.
Correct. Here's what I took from it.
Has anybody read Charlamagne's book called Black Privilege? You might have read that.
I talked about you today at my
watched part of
race
it.
meeting.
Huh?
I'll get back to that.
I've read part of it.
Going to it.
So, parts I struggled with.
Can I listen to it?
She was getting ready to. I'm sure it has an audio
We're
book.
going to take.
She was getting ready to go to like a black student meeting where they were going to talk about white privilege. So she's talking about what she's expecting out of this to her black driver as she sits in the back seat. Had an issue with that.
Is she on Uber or something like that?
No, like it's her personal driver.
It's a car service?
Yeah.
That's
No,
what you do.
it's her personal driver. Here's
what
the
you
thing.
do.
I was talking to my other friend about it, and she said, "Oh, I didn't even notice." And I'm like, "Of course you didn't."
I got a question.
I'm not done.
Go.
Whoa,
Sure.
sorry.
noticed it, too.
That was feisty.
No, go continue.
But I will say, I took two very powerful quotes. Chelsea Handler was talking to several people, and at one point she said, talking about racism is like talking about porn at the dinner table. And I thought, hey, that's a pretty good comparison. And then she went back to see her black boyfriend from high school, and she talked about all the trouble he got in and how she always got out of it. Like, he was a drug dealer, he ended up doing 14 years in prison, all this stuff. Stereotypical. He said, well, yeah, you have the complexion for the connection. And I was like, ooh, I like that. I'm going to use that from now on. So her boyfriend,
so was this
Jamal.
show about her, like, saying, hey, I can do what I want to because I'm white?
No, it was about her reflecting on her life and realizing that for the most part, she got where she is because she's white. Like,
Because she's talented?
No, because she got out of all this trouble. She just up and moved to LA. She said, I worked my ass off, but I didn't realize that I had all of these opportunities because I'm white. So, like, she sat down and talked to Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish at the beginning, and they said, every time you go for an audition, you already are heard of. You don't have to have somebody in your corner making phone calls to other people like, hey, take a look at this guy, or take a chance on this person. Like, it just happens. You don't have to have 7 phone calls.
So there's no like white actors that you've never heard of. That never happens. Like, every white person go to Hollywood makes it.
No, I'm saying that.
I mean, that's why that would be white privilege to me. Is like everybody gets the pass.
But the white ratio is a lot more successful than black folks in Hollywood.
Talk about ratio.
I'm just asking a question.
Ratio or ratio?
I suffer from black mouth this late. And
I know you do.
so folks, listen to Heavy Ears Radio Show, man. This is our great segment. D-Lo, what's the segment called? Brews and Reviews.
Brews and Reviews.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry, I was hitting my vape pen a bit ago.
Also, I would go with 4, only because it made me mad.
Oh wow, 4 brews.
Yeah, I'm mad about
I tell you
it.
what, guys, the Big Sis watched it and she thought it was all right. And I say all right, which when maybe from the Big Sis, it's a Lime-A-Rita drink. Like one 24-ounce Lime-A-Rita, and she's good. And by the way, she told me something very funny. She said that she got a Lime-A-Rita, and she thought it was a 40 ounce, and she thought it was only 24 ounces.
Aww.
And then she had this thought that she thought, holy cow, if this 24 ounce I thought was a 40 ounce, imagine what these people felt like when they were drinking 40 ounces.
Say that.
For real.
Just at the corner store. You know what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Say
yes.
I
that.
don't know what you're talking about.
The heaviest
Late 90s pop culture reference.
This part of the heaviest radio show is brought to you by St. Ives because they are not giving ends. So,
I got a Brews and Reviews.
Yeah.
Great.
You like that?
That was good.
I finally watched Hobbs and Shaw, man. I watched Hobbs and Shaw, and I get why Tyrese was clowning them cats, man.
Really?
It was terrible, dog. Like, I like The Rock, man.
Bunch of action, but
No. Yeah. I like The Rock,
no substance.
but you can't give. There's certain actors you can't give open reign. You just can't say, "Hey, go ad lib." Because first of all, the scenes, they had a couple of scenes where Kevin Hart was in there, and Ryan Reynolds was in there, and it was just like they just let him go. And it's like it's stupid because then the scene's like 3 minutes long of them just like kind of riffing on each other, and it's not even funny. There's too much of that. Like they took a nice franchise and spun it off into some stupid, dumb-ish.
Did it feel like a Fast and Furious
No.
movie?
No, not at all. Like not even. I mean, they had over-the-top stunts. A couple of those, which you've seen in the commercials.
Right.
You know, I thought Idris Elba killed it in his role. Like,
Did he?
he was a high point in the movie. Was him.
And I'm gonna tell you,
and
I'm
that
gonna say
motorcycle.
right now, Idris Elba still cannot be 007. He cannot sneak into a party in Monaco.
Oh well, you ain't heard of you. Oh, well, you ain't heard. Well, you really ain't gonna like this then. Guess who's in line to be Magneto in the MCU? Denzel Washington.
Well, he can be Magneto.
Magneto was a Jewish Holocaust survivor, dog. He cannot be Magneto.
I'm gonna say right now, you know what? Yes, he can because Yul Brynner played all kind of people, man, in Egypt. All I'm saying is,
That's fair.
so if you're making that point, then Idris for sure can be 007.
but he can't sneak into the same place as 007.
Yes, he can. He can get with a mop.
He's like shaking over here,
Yeah, he go in a different way.
shaking over here, bro.
Yeah.
And now just whoop everybody.
Right. He got with Trey. Yeah.
Would you like more? Would you like more tea and crumpets?
Yeah, some more Grey Poupon. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, pow, pow, pow. Everybody's dead except for him.
But
I'm just saying.
but also it's 007 today, not 007 in the 50s. So
I'll give you that. But
so
I'm a 007
but you want to give Denzel the pass to play a Jewish Holocaust?
Yes.
Because he'll be a great Magneto.
I like Denzel. I'm just a fan of Denzel.
I like
man.
Denzel, too.
Denzel can play anything, man.
Anything.
Matter of fact, if they had, and this is a great segue. If they had a reverb, remake, reboot. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. If they had a reboot of Home Alone,
Yes.
I say they use
Kevin Hart.
Boom.
No.
And it's
He's
done.
the only one they use.
because of his height, right?
Or Cat Williams.
I
Yes.
just
Imagine Cat Williams
you-
in Home Alone.
What? Please go right now and tell me what it would be like. Please go.
Yeah,
Ready
I'm not
go.
that talented.
Kevin McAllister's
Oh my
house would
gosh.
have to
Oh
be
my
different.
gosh.
Otherwise, the police would be called in the first 5 minutes, and the movie would be over. There'd be no sticky bandits.
That's probably true. Hey, I got a question for you guys, right? All right, you guys ready for
What
this?
did Kevin McAllister's dad do, by the way?
Who knows?
Sorry,
But he
go
made
ahead.
a lot of
I
money.
know that big house and a whole family trip to Paris.
To Paris.
That's a lot.
Who?
He was a
Who's
trafficker.
that?
He
Whoa,
was the
right
dad.
there. We
He was
jumped
the dad.
right there. Home
Dad on
Alone.
Home
Where have you
Alone.
been?
Oh.
Sorry,
All right,
Nick, go ahead.
no, I got this question, man. Imagine if the Brady Bunch was black.
Yes. Can you tell me
All right?
what?
Imagine if the Brady Bunch is black, and so first of all,
Could if they were black, could their theme song use the music from
Here's a
Sanford and Son
story.
with a black narrator singing the lyrics? I just feel like Sanford and Son, the theme music should be the bass line for the theme song. For
all right,
Brady
so
Bunch.
and so guess what? Moose is gonna
Morgan
go.
Freeman talking.
Moose is gonna go on record. I'm just gonna do it.
Let's hear
I'm
it.
gonna do it. You ready?
Come on.
And so I want you guys to think about some other themes and other things that happen if the Brady Bunch was black, and I'm gonna rename them the Grady Bunch.
Same time frame.
Grady
Same
Bunch.
time frame. Are we ready?
They're not living in Burbank.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Here's a story of a man named Grady
Man named Grady.
who was living with 3 boys of his own.
Yes.
All of them had different mothers
And
and the story. And everyone was named Rome. Here's a story
Until the
Of a
one day
lovely
when-
of a lovely lady.
Whose husband had to leave because of welfare.
They all had curls,
and HUD housing.
Like their mother.
And her mother.
and they were all alone. Then the one day
He
this
was-
man met
was
this
it-
lady,
At the cheetah.
And the chow line.
and they knew that it was much more than a hunch
No.
that this crew will somehow form a family,
Yes.
and that's what we call the Grady Bunch.
Do-do-do-do.
Grady Bunch.
Dun-dun-dun.
The Grady Bunch.
Dun-dun-dun.
That's the way they are called, the Grady Bunch.
Do-do-do-do.
The first episode, are you ready?
Yes.
So here we have Jamal Grady. Jamal Grady's walking into the studio, and he says, "Hey, y'all come downstairs. I'm sick of y'all. Raheem, Severin, and Jacoby, y'all get down here right
Jacoby
now."
That's funny. It's putting in names.
They come down. What's up, Daddy?
What's up, Pops?
What's
What
going
up,
on,
Pops?
Daddy? Hey guys, I'll tell you right now. Listen. I got this new woman that's just coming over today, and I've been dating her for a minute, right? And she gonna bring her girls over here. Y'all need to chill.
How many girls she got?
She got 3 girls, just like I got 3 boys, and
Are they post-pubescent?
and I tell you what, I love,
I don't think they're going to say post-pubescent.
and I love,
Why? Because they're black?
I love this
They're
woman.
children.
I love this woman. And matter of fact, she's at the door.
Honey!
She's at the door right now.
Honey, I brought chicken and watermelon. Hopefully the kids love it.
All right, so
Oh, yeah, they
Yes!
just lost my viewership.
It's the 60s and
It's the
it's white
60s.
writers. Of
60s.
course that's how it's
It's
going
the
to go.
60s. It's the 60s,
Y'all
right?
bringing it in.
All right, so are you ready? Are you ready? All right, here we go. Here you go.
Y'all
I'm
bringing it to
Jamal.
your
Hey, all right, I'm Jamal, and you are
Cotillo.
Claudette.
Okay.
Claudette.
Good 70s now.
All right. Hey, what's up, Claudette?
Hi, honey.
I see you got your daughters here. What are their names so I can introduce them to my boys?
Well, this one right here, that's Lakeisha. And then we have Latika. And then there's Kaylee.
All right. So listen, for what I'm gonna say, I'm never gonna remember their names, baby,
They're-
right now.
Their daddies named them.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Their daddies.
Plural.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
All 3.
Hey, so listen. I just want to tell you that I want you and them to move into the house with me and the fellas here.
Oh my gosh,
And-
we don't have to
and-
live in the car anymore.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What's up, Jamal?
Girls, we're going to move in. Go get your suitcases out of the car. I
Tell
knew
me,
we'd say
Jamal.
yes.
What's up with Jamal?
Pops, we paying rent. How we not going to go stay with her?
Real,
Your pimp hand ain't strong, Pops.
real Dad. I ain't finna give up my bed. I
Hurry,
ain't
honey,
finna
go
bunk
get
Jamal.
the suitcases.
I'm tired of
Now
bunking
listen.
Jamal. The house ain't big enough.
Listen, we have 4 bedrooms.
Girls, go upstairs. Start unpacking.
Oh, she had a fatty though.
Hey, fellas,
Hey,
listen.
Jacoby.
Listen,
That's me, dog.
they are going to be your sisters.
Kaylee, ignore him.
By law.
Not by blood.
They're true that.
Lakeisha, don't
Why my
even
blood
think
runs
about
to my
it.
special spot, Dad.
That's the laugh track.
You guys are crazy, man. All right. So, all right. Listen, guys. This is my woman, Claudette, and she's gonna be y'all mama. I want y'all to call her mama.
Excuse me, Miss Claudette.
Hey, Miss Claudette,
Hi, kids.
is that with 1 or 2 D's?
Oh, sons, you're just the sweetest boys.
Miss Claudette, have you met Auntie Shirlene?
Honey, I don't think I know what you're talking about.
She's the one that keeps our house clean.
Oh.
You gonna love Charlene.
Honey, now that I'm living here, I don't think you need a housekeeper.
No.
No, we need Shirlene.
No. Check this
No,
out. man.
I don't think I'm okay with that.
Charlene ain't going nowhere. I mean,
Yes,
you know,
she is.
That's how we doing
No,
it.
she is going elsewhere because I'm gonna put her elsewhere.
So,
But she's a cougar.
No. Now I'm here. I will keep.
It's Charlene.
I will
with
keep
a-
care of the house.
It's Charlene with a full seat.
Shirlene, nope, you can leave. You know what? Shirlene and I'll have a cook-off. How about
Charlene is
that?
36 with a full seat.
all right. So listen. Y'all boys go outside. And finish
We
cleaning
should have
out.
the high seat.
Finish cleaning out Miss Claudette's car. Finish cleaning out Miss Claudette's car.
Come on, man. I got a piece of
What's
grass.
that? What's this lightsaber? What is this? You like Star Wars?
It's my favorite.
It even makes sounds.
Dad, look at this, Dad.
Is that vibrating?
Yes.
Guys, put that down.
Okay.
Put that down and go wash your hands real quick.
Why does it
Now,
smell funny, Dad?
I'm not sure what that is. All right, don't even worry about
I know
that.
Miss Love that was making catfish.
Like I told y'all, go clean out the car. Go clean out the
Smells
car.
a little bit like
And guess what?
ass.
And guess what? Next week we going on vacation.
Where are we going?
Next week we going on
Oh, we
vacation.
going to the beach in Gary?
No, yes, yes,
Yes. Yes.
outstanding.
We're
And
gonna
we're
get bored.
and-
We're gonna go see my family.
and we're gonna take the girls with us. All right, hey girls, I'm glad to meet y'all.
Yes, we are so happy to be here.
And what's your name, sweetheart?
Oh, my name is Kaylee with a C.
How old are you?
I'm 9.
Hey, Kaylee, my name is Jacoby.
Hi, Jacoby.
Why'd you look like that, son?
Well, I was feeling some different tension when I heard her speak, Dad.
All right.
Mom, I don't think I like him.
I'm Jamal.
Hi,
Football,
Jamal. Mom, I'm gonna go finish unpacking. Come on, Lakeisha. Come on,
Hey, Big Bob
Lakita.
Jamal.
All right, so hey, I want one of those other girls to come in here. Hey, sweetheart, what's your name?
My name is Lakeisha.
How old are you?
12.
What do you like, Lakeisha?
Staying home, skipping school, smoking cigarettes.
I tell you what, there's no smoking here. And there's no smoking in the Grady house.
Okay.
Listen, we're going to be going to school together. Holler at me because we got ditch day.
Every day is ditch day.
Turn down for what?
Right.
Every day.
I'm not sure what we're gonna do here, folks. All right, so
I don't think I like you.
you know what, sweetheart? You don't have to like me, but your mama does. Now, is your other sister coming in here or what?
No. She's finishing unpacking.
Is she outside?
She don't like talking to people.
Is she
She's a
outside?
classic middle child.
I'm
She
sorry.
doesn't know how to be social. And
sorry,
she
what?
thinks everything's about her. No.
Latika the Freaka. Bring them out. Bring them out.
No. She keeps to herself. She don't want to talk to nobody. Leave her alone.
So maybe that lightsaber is hers.
I don't know anything about no lightsaber, but I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. So, I'm going to go unpack and you're going to leave me alone.
All right, guys. Listen. I'm gonna bring you guys in. Hey, we need a fellas huddle. All right, listen, guys. I really like Claudette, even though we got the ghetto bird flying over our house right now. We're not even gonna worry about that. All right.
Are they looking to call that with 2 D's?
Let's not worry about the ghetto bird flying over.
Pops!
But listen, yes, go.
You really like her, or do you like that dump? Because I seen that wagon she was dragging.
All right, listen, we're not gonna talk about.
She got
that,
a dump.
folks.
She got a dump. She got a dump. She got a dump. She
In the
got a dump.
background, you see Claudette twerking.
And folks, that's the episode 1 and cut. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Grady Bunch.
The Grady Bunch.
Brady Bunch.
I want a
Bunch.
T-shirt.
Can we address this?
It's amazing how we just went straight to the hood version. We could easily went to the Cosby version.
And what's
We
the
did it.
reason? What's the reason we went to that?
Yeah,
version?
because that's how we trained to do. Like train.
And it was the 60s.
When
Right?
did the Cosbys start? The 90s?
Yeah, but I'm saying, but we never said, but we could do the Cosby. We could have been the Cosby.
No, but in the
You could have been Edward Huxtable, Edward Grady. I was OGBYN.
I was Jamal. Why it gotta be OGBYN?
You did with that percent.
Ew.
I can tell you guys when I was at Central State, true story. All right, Moose went to Central State. When I was at Central State, we gave an honorary doctorate degree to Mike Tyson.
Michael Tyson.
And Mike Tyson said,
Was that
Mike
before
Tyson,
or after he bit off someone's ear?
it was before.
Before.
And Mike Tyson said at our what's called a convocation. They still have convocations, Jeezy, when you were there?
Yeah,
All the freshmen had to go to? And so at the convocation, Mike Tyson said, well, I guess I'm a doctor, but I need to be a gynecologist with all these fine ladies out here.
Of course he did.
He said that.
Hashtag me too.
Well, it was way, way before that, luckily, because, boy, he would have been in some trouble.
For sure.
He would have been in
Well,
some trouble.
and it was also before video recording cell phones, so it wasn't blasted all over the internet.
True.
Till right this moment.
True story. All right, so
The good old days.
hey, look, let me ask you this, guys.
I talked about those
Let me ask you
today.
this. So, if you think about those old shows like that, right? The Black Brady Bunch, right? What if George Jefferson, right? What if George Jefferson was white? What would he have owned? What
Laundromat.
would he still have owned laundromats?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was selling laundromats.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
think
think
he's
so.
bigger than that.
What's that?
I think he's bigger than that. He'd own some sort of industrial cleaning company, or if he's still in that line of work.
Like, owning a laundromat is still a big deal. Like, you can own several laundromats. You can sell one.
What in TV land you've never heard about a pilgrim guy owning a laundromat? I don't think it's going to start with the white Jefferson.
Not even Herman Munster.
I mean, but I never known him to have a job. Period. It's always like some construction worker, working on a foreman, working at the. Back then, everybody worked at the plant.
Okay, so white George Jefferson could have been he had to be an owner.
He owned a laundromat.
He was for sure an owner, but I feel like he would have been some much more a bigger, for sure a bigger.
But it didn't want to be a sitcom.
Fortune 500.
Yeah, you got to understand.
Probably
the
wouldn't have
part
lived
of
in an
comedy
apartment,
is
right?
being relatable.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think
That's the
those
whole
are-
point.
About
those
being
are
what?
culturally.
The whole part of being a comedy is being relatable. If he's an owner, you can't make a comedy show about him being an owner of like some Fortune 500 company because that's not funny.
Why can't you? I mean, because
not relatable.
because his job never really came into play in the story.
But part of the comedy is a relatable characters and stories. You have to relate to them. You have to have. That's why someone before.
So Pilgrim George owns laundromats, and that makes him a relatable character
No,
to the
Pilgrim George. First of all, Pilgrim George probably for the comedy. Pilgrim George would like be a manager. He wouldn't be the owner because it wouldn't be as funny if he was the owner. It's funny that George at the time that George is the owner of laundromat. It wouldn't be funny if he owned it. He would have to be a manager. He had to be a manager
that's
working for
fair.
George.
That's fair.
So
That's the comedy.
So imagine this, man. Imagine this.
What did Archie Bunker do? Like he didn't own nothing.
I was gonna say. So, if you remember the song, I don't know if you guys remember the song. I'll sing the song for you, and then we're gonna break it down. You brought up Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to make sure I get it right. I want to get it right. By the way, the Miller played.
You can break my bill.
Songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days. And you knew who you were then. Girls were girls and men were men. Man, I wish we had a president like Herbert Hoover again.
Wouldn't be no
Welfare states. Everybody pulled their weight. What was it? Those were the days. Would that song, would that sitcom go over today? Even the opening credits. Silence.
Fox News.
I mean, I feel like it might still fly, which is.
I mean, nothing you said that song was bad. It's very conservative, very right wing.
But so if we have
Everybody put them in say girls were girls and men were men.
That part. Because someone saying, well, that's not really binary.
I wish you could see
Your face!
I wish you could take a picture.
Oh
You
my
gotta take a
gosh,
picture
we
of
gotta
your
do that
face.
again. I gotta record it.
Anyway, continue. Don't get me
Do it
started.
again.
No. So you're telling me that wouldn't work out?
No, that line would definitely have.
Had to be stricken.
We have like the 1 million LGBT people. Would be
Because
mad.
what would people say? Do it again.
It's not really binary.
just as funny the second go around.
It was.
Maybe
It was very
funnier.
good.
We have it. We'll post it on Heavy Hitters.
All right. So I got another question
Oh,
for you
that's
guys.
funny.
I got another question for you guys. What if the folks on Gilligan's Island were black?
would they have gotten on the boat
Are you
in
ready?
the first place?
So
That's
no,
a
they're
fair
on
question.
they're on the boat.
Anybody come to look for them,
They're on, no, they're done.
there's over with.
You know what? Really, nobody ever came looking for them either.
Yes, I did. Because almost every episode,
The Globetrotters.
Gilligan messed it up.
All right,
He messed up their rescue.
All right, so so the Globetrotters were there, right?
Yeah.
And they left. How did the Globetrotters get saved, but not Gilligan, the skipper, and all them?
Do you know how many people had to be ticked off at the writers of Gilligan's
And
Sherwin
his
Schwartz for letting the Globetrotters get off the island? But you couldn't let these 6 people off the island.
It's 6.
The Globetrotters.
You couldn't get Mr. and Mrs. Howell off the island.
The
but you let
millionaire and
these
his wife.
Harlem Globetrotters get off the
Does
island.
anybody remember the song?
No. I never watched
Professor
an
and
episode of Gilligan's
Gilligan.
Island.
So you what?
Yes.
You did what?
I've never watched an episode of Gilligan's Island.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Let me see here. Let me see how to go.
I got it. Here.
I didn't watch that.
You never watched Gilligan's Island?
Hold on, I gotta skip the ad in 5 seconds.
All right, so it's one of those things where I think it.
I watched.
Here you go.
I think it's listen.
Different era.
Back then we hear a tale.
A tale of a faithful ship.
That started from
Yes.
the southern port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailor man, skipper brave and sure. Like passengers they sailed that day on a 3-hour tour. On a 3-hour tour.
To go get some more.
When it started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. The ship set ground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle. With Gilligan, the skipper too, a millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Marianne, here on Gilligan's Island. Now imagine if they were black.
How would the theme song go, or how would the story
First
go?
of all, it would be.
Getting.
And you know what else it do? They would for sure be from like Jamaica, because there's a lot of Jamaica. So it'd be like it'd be Gilligan.
You can't get a haircut, man.
Jamaica, we have a bobsled team.
Gilligan, you're being so silly.
Ginger.
Ginger would sure be pregnant. episode 2.
Bring your ting around here.
Taking around here. We're on this on the island.
Gilligan, listen, everything is Irie, but you got to stay off of Marianne. Because Marianne is mine, but
Marianne needs
I give her the bamboo.
Yeah, she need to fertilize the island.
did everybody see those plants over there in the back?
I did.
Those plants are...
So, wait.
Can I ask
I know
a
the premise of
stereotypical
Gilligan's Island. So if I'm not mistaken, it was only 3 of them on the island.
No, it was
those 6.
It was Thurston Howell the
Gilligan.
third.
Was one woman.
The skipper
No.
too. The millionaire and his wife.
This making me
How
so
many
happy.
women was
The
there?
movie star.
Listen.
The professor and Marianne. There were 7
Here
of
on
them.
It was 7, 2 women.
Gilligan's
It
Isle.
was 3 women. One was
Yes.
married, 2 were not.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
been knocked off. It's been knocked off left and right. Yeah.
Can
Left
I ask a
and right.
stereotypical question if we're keeping Gilligan's Island in the same era? What would it be instead of a millionaire if the cast was black?
I mean, there were
What would he be?
and they're islanders, so they were probably in the rum business at some point.
I'm asking.
2015.
No, I'm asking if there were white writers who wrote this show and it was a black cast, it would for sure not be a millionaire. Not for keeping it in the same
So
era.
are there any islands we don't know about now?
I'm sure there are.
Everything's
How
together.
could they be?
Because there's new ones that are created.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Via volcanoes in the ocean.
Wait. I was at Best Buy. I was at Best Buy the day, and the dude tried to sell me an underwater drone
Why?
because it's cool, and I like
That
Best
does
Buy.
sound cool.
And so like
You're gonna
now
go out on a boat and
you
put
can
your
take
drone
this
in the
drone
ocean?
in the water. You can put it. You can go in the retention pond. and launch it in the retention pond and look around.
Aren't you only going to see brown?
Are you going to put it into White River and figure out why it's diminishing
By the way,
daily?
folks, in Indianapolis, man, the White River is shrinking. I don't know where it's at. There has to be some sort of tunnel.
Channel.
No, there's not a channel. The channel's in another country.
I know.
Hey, folks, Heaviest Radio Show. You're listening. I know we're being kind of silly, but
Yes.
but on a serious tip, imagine if these shows. Imagine if the world was kind of flip flop. Imagine if the world was kind of flip flop and it was. So I would love to do another episode of the Grady's.
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right, I'd like to do another episode of the Grady's, and if you guys can
Call
remember
it
the
Topsy
name.
Turvy.
All right, so on episode 2 of the Grady's, Jamal walks into the kitchen.
The Lord is my shepherd. You know what I want.
and Claudette's in there, and she says,
honey, I need to show you something.
Bend it over.
what is it? What is it, honey child?
You'll have to tune into the next
Why you
episode
say
to
honey
find out.
child? Why did I say honey child?
That's weird.
That was horrible.
You'll have to tune into the next episode to find out.
All right, there we go. Man, Heaviest Radio Show, man. We are acting crazy.
Ginger.
So I tell you what, hey guys, besides that, we do gotta get into a little bit of sports here. I know we want to talk about AB.
Yes. We need to.
Antonio Brown.
Does
anybody remember his daddy?
Mr. Brown?
It was touchdown Eddie Brown. If you're from Indianapolis, or if you were a fan of football back in the day, you would remember that he was a Firebird. He was a great receiver in the Arena Football League. Touchdown Eddie Brown is his dad.
I'm gonna say this, man, about AB and what's going on is it's real convenient. Now we can all agree that he did it to himself, as far as like put himself in that position. If he just being quiet and just been a receiver for the Raiders or the Steelers, none of this would have came out. But however, man, this is definitely classic discredit 101.
Okay, you know what? Hey, Jeezy, I'm with you on this. Guess what? If he signs the contract and he plays with the Raiders and he wears the helmet that they tell him to wear, then guess what? The old girl that's the trainer never comes out.
Never happened.
Old girl that's this text messaging never comes out.
Never.
Folks, please believe that if you work for an organization, especially as large as the NFL,
Yeah.
they are going to be checking on your character. And character matters. Character matters. And so what has happened with him is that I think AB thought that he was above
the league.
above everything. I'm the fastest.
In John Wick terms, above the table.
I'm the fastest. I'm the best. Nobody's going to bother me. And those owners got together and they were like, you know what? All right.
Bless
We can figure this out.
Is that a sneeze?
And the second that he started getting out of pocket, they were like, oh, yeah? Well, if we fire you now, we already got in your contract that you don't get this $30 million. And then Victor Cayenne. What's old boy's name?
Goodell.
No, from the Patriots.
Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft was like, hey, we'll take him. We're going to offer him $9 million guaranteed. We'll give him this amount of money. And so he's like, I'll take it. Because he wanted to play football. That's what he does for a living, right? And then as soon as he messes up with them, it's already written in the contract where if you mess up, we don't have to give you that $9 million.
Yeah.
Why does he call out the next day and say, well, I'm not playing NFL football anymore? No, we already knew you weren't playing NFL football anymore. Because you don't know how to act.
Yeah.
Guys, if you owned a company and you told a guy to wear a certain hat and he didn't wear the hat, what happens to him?
He's
Hey,
fired.
fine. But the thing is, I want people to understand, man, like, if people want to get rid of you, they first they have to discredit you. So anything that you say after that, even if you whistle blow, you snitch on people, you're deemed as crazy or nobody won't believe you. So they have to put things in front of you first, put things in place, so that when you speak, nobody will listen. And that's where it's at right now. Like, you know, because he was out there dropping bombs on people talking about Shannon Sharp and all that. Like,
Roethlisberger
I remember that Roethlisberger, like, not only did Roethlisberger have he raped
That's what they said. That's what they said.
Full blown. I remember when it happened.
That's what they said. We never came out that he did. But
No. It came out.
I mean, but he got like a 4-game suspension.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Then he came on back and played for the next 10
He went to the
years.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Antonio Brown was tweeting about everybody. So he said, 4 games for Big Ben, crazy world. I'm done with it. And then he said, Kraft got caught in the parlor. AB speculations fired, different strokes, different folks, clearly. Those have now
because-
been deleted, of
Because
course.
he's not in charge.
You're not in charge.
He's not in
He thinks
charge.
he is.
And guess what? Big Ben.
And Robert Kraft was not right.
You know what? Big
It was a
Ben,
hand
Big
job.
Ben, Kobe Bryant, everybody ever been in trouble?
Yep.
They got themselves together. They served their punishment, and then they went on about their business.
They went about their business, yeah. But you just refused to, you could. The thing is, you wasn't cut because of the rape allegations. You was cut because your dumb ass sent the tweet.
Well,
no,
and
your dumb ass sent the
Yeah.
text message.
Well, and the other thing is...
the Patriots was gonna stick with you. They was gonna stick with them through the whole allegation. They was gonna ride with you. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as you sent the tweet on a Sunday night,
Right.
After the game.
Yeah.
Watch Sunday Night Football. What's wrong with you?
just chill, sit down somewhere, man.
We done
Sit
gave
down and
Josh
make that
Gordon-
$9 million.
Yes.
We
But that's
done
what
gave you
happens.
Josh Gordon's reps, man.
That's what happens.
Be cool.
That's what happens when you surround yourself with
Even
yes men.
Josh Gordon was like, man, I ain't got nothing to do with
But
this.
even Josh Gordon drinking, but he not sit down somewhere.
Josh Gordon put the blunt down, was like, I ain't got nothing to do with
I'm
this.
gonna go over here and
My name
smoke
is
this in the
Bennett,
corner.
and that's between my, and I ain't in it. You know, that's my name is Paul, and that's between
I mean, the
y'all.
allegation is she said to AP she was in a train somewhere and he walked out naked. That's what he did. Like he walked out
That is
naked.
not the
and
story
made,
I
and
heard.
made, and made a advance to her while he was naked.
They had sex, right?
No, not the second one. I don't know about the
Oh,
second one.
the first man,
Oh.
the one that got married last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
Oh.
Yes.
They had sex, and so she couldn't do the talk until after her wedding. She had to postpone her. She had to postpone her. Her what do you call that when you get after you get married? Honeymoon. She had to postpone her honeymoon. Am I that much against marriage? I can't remember what happens after. But she had to postpone her honeymoon so she can go to the NFL and tell her story and then go on her honeymoon after
Damn.
that. Could you imagine being her husband?
So you was a bust down for
He-
Antonio Brown?
He had to have known about it before all this came out.
Let me
How
see
you
if the
figure?
size is on.
Yeah, you
I
knew
just
about
feel
it.
like if you're
You
going to
knew
go
about it.
public
You
with
probably
something
was
like
like, man,
this,
we
you
need
would
to get that
definitely
paper.
tell your significant
You
other
need that paper.
first.
You
Say
need
what?
that.
If you're gonna go public with something like that, you would definitely tell your significant other first, unless you don't give a pineapple about them.
I don't know. I mean, you would think in certain situations you would tell the closest people to you certain things, but I mean, Malik Yoba didn't tell his kids he was dating transgender women. I
That dude's an
mean,
idiot.
I don't know.
I feel like
Did I
as a
miss that?
woman,
You
must
must have.
On Breakfast Club like 2 weeks ago.
I feel like as a woman,
It's
if I
also
was
that
gonna
finance.
out
21
some
Jump
dude,
Street?
Yeah. He's out like the energy, so he was on the Breakfast Club.
No, New York undercover.
And he was like, well,
Yeah,
sometimes he was like, well, I might want to date a woman that's born a woman. No, that's not woman. Woman is not born a woman. That's binary. And
I'm attracted to all women.
He's an idiot.
That's what he
They're
said.
not women, dog. They're not women.
Look,
They're not women.
yeah, I was on Instagram and I saw who he was dating. And I think I sent you all a picture regarding it via text because
I saw like a group of women that said they're all women.
yeah, we talked about that.
And it encapsulated everybody in there, like.
but 3 of them were non-CIS gendered women.
Cis,
CIS.
cisgender,
That too.
What is that?
What's that mean?
cisgender. That means that you fit the stereotypical gender norms.
No, that's called the biology.
No.
Shit.
I mean, do you use the bathroom standing up or sitting down?
That's fair.
Right? I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I'm telling you that
I'm
the
saying.
definition of cisgender means that you fit the
Is that
stereotypical
Webster or like
norms.
Urban Dictionary?
That's in Webster. I'll pull up the actual definition for you, and I will read it to you. And then if we need to call
I
layman, we will.
just don't agree.
Okay, you ready?
I just feel like I'm not going to change my language, how I talk, or go against science.
Okay, well, it started in the 90s. Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of their personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex.
Say it again.
denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex.
Thank you.
So it says, I identify as a woman. My identity
No.
is tied to my birth sex. I was born a woman. I identify as a woman. My life is centered around the fact that I am a woman. I am cisgendered.
So this is who Malik Yoba is knocking off.
Am I cisgender?
You are cisgendered. Jamie Lee Curtis, maybe not so much.
Jamie Lee Curtis is hot.
Well, that's because how do you identify if you're a hermaphrodite?
Is this okay? This is
Assigned
who
at
Malik
birth.
Yoba is knocking off.
And she's a dude?
Did she have her surgery?
I don't know. But she is not a cisgendered woman.
She is not cisgendered. Does she have a newfangled, newly created, probably perfect vagina?
Perfect?
We don't know.
All
If it
vaginas
was-
are pretty
She like, what am I walk over
listen,
here?
I'm not
If
gonna go in
I
there.
was a dude who wanted to be a
She
woman,
was like,
I would
grab
make
the
sure
world,
that
look
my
at her
brand new
show.
vagina was perfect.
What kind of show is this with her?
Thank you.
She's like, I don't know. I'm not getting into vagina talk. I just stick to tacos.
I mean, but it's just wild.
You know what? That's what I'm
Wait a
saying.
second. I
If
feel
you're
like
a
this is
dude, you
something
stick
we
to
can ask.
tacos.
I think this is something we can ask the waitress. Hey, if I can ask you a question.
Scoot over here so we can hear you.
Okay.
So in 2019, do transgendered women deserve as much respect as cisgendered women?
Well, respect is, yes, it's a respect. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what.
I don't think it's necessarily about respect. I think it's more so like, why are you trying to identify as something that you weren't natural?
She's not talking. Why are you so cool?
I don't know.
She's quiet.
I'm quiet.
It's an awkward question.
It is.
It is, and we just met her, and so here we are.
So, all right.
No,
so
you
that-
just about sure to clown me.
Oh, well, then she fits right in. Come on, girl. Have a
Hey,
seat.
folks, hey,
Sorry,
check this
what
out.
on
So,
me?
listen up, guys. He listens to the Heaviest Radio Show, man. We're live. We're at Stadium Tavern here in downtown Indianapolis. We are a worldwide
Correct.
podcast, that's out there. What's that? Matter of fact, shout out to Ashbourne, Virginia, man. They are on us all the time. And,
Ashbourne!
down there in
Shout out to
Texas.
Iraq, man.
Down there in
Oil
Texas,
money.
man. Down there
wow.
in Texas. Hey, so all right. So here's what Moose is saying. It doesn't matter what you do in your bedroom. I don't care who you do it with, right?
Right, no
But like, it
business.
depends on what bathroom you go to. Like, if you're gonna go to the bathroom, if your mama said you sit down when you go to the bathroom, I don't think you should do that. Your entire rip. I mean, am I wrong? Am I out of pocket for saying that?
What if there's a really long line at the women's restroom, and I need to go to the bathroom, and so I dip into the men's restroom?
Then at that point, that's cool as long as you have somebody watching, right? Lock the door or
Correct.
something.
Yes, there always needs to be a lookout.
All right, I'm cool with that.
Done that many a time.
You know what's funny? So you can tell that the waitress that's been around
Right,
us,
she just
she
laughs and
walks
walks
in,
away.
she laughs, she keeps walking the new one. She's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck talking
we are
about this.
we are awkward people.
Just move out.
It's fine. Yep. See, she's learned. This is how we are. Welcome.
We're good, thank
This is
you.
what we do.
All right, hey folks, Heaviest Radio Show, man. We are funky fresh in the flesh, man. I tell you what, D-Lo, any other shows we got going on? Anything happening?
None.
Are you doing anything Thursday?
You have any shows you got going on this week? DJing?
Damn, I got to see the dates, man. I can't remember days anymore. It's all dates.
Okay. All right,
Yeah, I'm
outstanding.
sorry.
How about
Okay.
9/26? You doing something that day? Is it every Thursday that you do this thing that I still haven't come to?
Oh
Because
no,
I'm a
no.
horrible friend?
Oh no. You know what? That was a great one-time thing.
Oh, okay, good.
But they've got a shady history on making payments to people.
Oh.
So it wasn't anything I was willing to commit to long term.
I think that is fair. Because, if you're Jeezy, you say, if it don't make money, it don't make sense.
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Hey, so and here's another thing too, guys. By the way, I'm working with another guy. I'm working with a gentleman on a concept of trying to help young black men and men with low socioeconomic status, and we're trying to come up with a name. Today we talked about the amoral black man. He didn't really like that a whole lot. Originally, he talked about and I'm gonna use this term, and I don't want to. We're not going to use this term, folks. But it's the retardation of the black male. We're not going to use that term. We're not going to use that term because we lose all our allies, so we're not going to use that term. But essentially, we want to figure out the reason that there's so many young black men and then young black men with low socioeconomic status of many races that are not making good decisions these days. Like, where is the piece that they miss?
It's the destruction of the YBM infrastructure. There's no more of it, man.
When you say YBM, you talking about young black male?
Yes.
No, I mean, you said it in the title, like lower socioeconomic situation. So when you're in a lower socioeconomic situation, is the area that you're in is just full of bad decisions.
So
surrounded, you are more times than not, you are a product of your environment.
And so a lot of times, so far, what we talked about is the fact that it's exposure and education and understanding has been a situation where they are losing opportunity because of that. Just because of the fact that they're not.
You haven't seen nothing else, so you don't know what's out there. So if you only go 1 to 3 miles around where you live at, but not even that, 1 or 2 blocks of where you grew up at, you don't know no different. Because you never been nowhere to see anything. You got people who haven't even been to downtown Indianapolis that live in Indianapolis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's plenty of folks on the, and probably on the west side too, but I know for certain on the east side of Indianapolis who don't live north of 34th Street and have never been to Castleton Mall, which is still on the east side of town. It's just way north, but it's one of those things you take for granted. But
yeah, a lot of people. So
absolutely
you are
no connection to it.
You are a product of your environment, your circle. Like, the world is no bigger than your 6 blocks of your neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you get out of it?
It's mental. It's upstairs, man. It's ingrained.
You don't know any better. How do you change your
But
mindset?
if it's mental,
it's ingrained from everybody.
How do people like us, you, Jeezy as a black man, D-Lo as a black man,
expose
Run as an ally, as a white woman, and me, Moose, aka Big House, as a black man? How do we change the perspective of some of these young folks so that at some point we change? Now, we know that wealth doesn't come from the hardworking people right now. Wealth comes from it's a generational thing, right? So how do we change the generational thinking so that in 10 years or 20 years, then we're all on the same
page? Well, the
page?
first thing is having I think it's having a plan, and then honing. Like, everybody has a skill. No matter where if you come from the hood or you come from suburb, everybody has a skill or something that they're good at, or have intuition, have their own special gift. So in these areas, we got to be able to hear what their gifts are, what they're knowledgeable about, and not have it be focused on the typical entertainment and sports. But like, no, what's your real path? Like, do you have anything else? And then kind of push them and guide them into those directions, to those fields, and show them that these are different avenues that make just as much money as your rappers and entertainers. Like, you could be an engineer, and because you're good at math, or you can draw pretty good, you can draw sketches. Like, there's different ways to make money from the talent that you have that's not surrounded by.
Even a businessman, if you're a really good dope man, right, one that doesn't get in trouble, doesn't get caught, knows how to manage your money, your time, and your business, and the people that work with you.
And sweet talk people.
How
rinse that money?
What's the reason you couldn't be a businessman, a legit businessman, selling bagels or whatever it is?
You can. It's really
number of them are.
It's exposure. It's just a lot of them haven't been shown. Like, okay, well, you buy a pound of weed for X amount of dollars. You break it down, you make X amount of dollars. Okay. You show them that layout, and you say, okay, now we're gonna take this. It's your liquor license. I'm gonna show you that a bottle of Patron costs you $100, and you pour a shot, it costs you 30 cents a shot. You charge $10. So in actuality, you're making the same amount of money doing the same thing, but one's legal, one's not legal. So what I'm saying, you need to figure out a way to get to the legal side where you can sell money, get your bar, and sell drinks or alcohol.
Well, you have to sell a whole lot of illegal to afford that liquor license.
Really, like what, $250? Or buy
No, you don't.
Or buy no. Okay, did you know this, D-Lo? If you buy a building in a historical district, your legal license only costs you $1,000 a year.
I mean, but we're still talking about impoverished people. Are those
Right,
really
but he
options?
brought up dope dealers, like people who sell drugs, so they have access.
Which is closer to the community, right?
Right, so I'm saying, but we the whole thing is showing them a way, basically saying another way, or saying, hey, open up a pizza shop, because that pizza shop is just as much as selling dope, because the pizza is like $1. It's like $1.
Even sandwiches, barbecue, whatever. And then the other part then is guys like us going there and purchasing it,
Right.
and making sure that they're able to sell it at a price that makes sense. Because if I sell suits, but I'm only selling 10 suits, I have to sell them for $1,000 to make money a month. But if I'm selling 40 suits a month, then I can sell them for $300, which more people are going to buy the suits, which means I'm going to make more money, and now my community is working together. The biggest thing is the black dollar is not staying in the community.
Well, part of it is that things cost more in the hood versus in the suburbs is the insurance cost. With the cost of goods that the people who operate in these places, why it's higher because their rent, their insurance fees is higher just because of the crime in the location and crime in that area. It's unfortunate, man. So the key is somehow miraculous. It's never been done in the history of man. But somehow I say, hey, let's ease up on the crime. Let's incentivize. So find out a way to incentivize being a good neighbor, being good in your community. Like we have to find a way to monetize it and incentivize it. So then now you create this atmosphere where it's like, I'm not going to do this because by you doing this affects my money, affects me getting a stipend, me getting whatever benefit I get from my area having this. And then you create what they call community policing. So now you got everybody in the neighborhood like, hey man, cut your grass. Hey man, do this shit, man, do this. It's like they coming around to check. If everybody shit good, man, we get a check. You know what I mean? We get something. So then all of a sudden you kind of like trick them into doing good. You know what I'm saying? So by incentivizing.
Do we want to trick them or do we want to educate them?
You want to educate, but you want to incentivize. You got to certain groups of people. You have to show them why it makes sense for them to do it. You have to show them. You have to say, okay, it makes sense for you because if you do this, then we can generate this, and you can make this. We understand, like, oh, I gotta get this much money. Yeah, just by doing these little steps and making sure people around you do this, we can pay you that.
Hey, folks, I tell you what, man, Heavy Airs Radio Show, man, we talk a little bit about everything.
Because real quick, I have to cut you off, but I had a deal with my neighborhood, Etna. I had me and my guy, we was talking about it. I said, I could buy my neighborhood for $1 million. If I had $1 million, I could buy every house in my neighborhood.
Back where you from?
Back where I'm from. Etna, the whole area, we could probably get it for like $1.5 million, every house. And I was like, what I would do is, we had a question like, what would you do? I said, well, the old school, I will convert it into a shopping center. It's like shops, like grocery stores, shopping, everything. And the only people I'm hiring are the people who live in Etna. The only people who's going to work here. So not only you're going to shop here, and you're going to work here. And then
we know you.
And you know what I'm saying? So now you have some ownership. So then what I'll do is I'll give based off the money, because obviously I'm rich, I don't need the money. So what I'll do is I'll incentivize. So okay, if we can keep crime under this percentage, everybody in the community is a check for $5 at the end of the year.
The expectation is zero crime.
Huh?
The expectation will be
zero, but there has to be a surplus. I mean, it's always going to be something. You can't say zero. So you have to have some wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? We would say zero, but obviously you would say, you know what? If it's 20%, if we can get it down to 10%, or we can get this. So now you got people saying, I get $5 at the end of the year. I said, yeah, this is your stipend. The same way they do in Alaska. It's no different than what they do in Alaska by being a resident in Alaska.
A lot of different places.
Yeah, different places. They give stipends to the residents because they work and produce in the community. So you're producing, you're paying taxes, you're doing all stuff in this area, in my little 10 blocks that I own. and I put businesses here for you to work, earn money by shopping and other people shopping in this community, and then I build a community up that way. And then you incentivize the people that live there. And then what happens is the people who don't do good will get pushed out. They don't want to do good in the neighborhood because what happens is I'll start.
Where do they go?
They go to Miller.
Out of Etna.
Out of Etna.
So my point being, and I'm with you on that. So then we hopefully there's somebody that's from Miller or wherever the next neighborhood is that says, "Oh, I'm in. I'm doing the same."
So
thing.
you create an environment where, it's like a kid that's bad. You probably do an experiment on this. Have a bad kid and put him in a room full of good kids. He immediately feels guilty for shouting out in class. Like around the bad kids, he'll yell out because it's that tribal.
It's conducive, man.
It's that tribal mentality. But if you're in a group of everybody doing good, and then you yell at everybody shame you for being the idiot. Like to me, there's not enough shaming going on in the world. There needs to be more shame.
What the heck?
Yeah, there needs to be more shame.
Oh,
gosh.
jeez.
You don't think about when
Man, you were on point up until a minute ago.
there needs to be more shame. If you do something wrong, there needs to be people who say we don't accept that, and that's wrong. Like there needs to be
So it's not shaming; it's education.
or say it's bad or clown you for it. Like there needs to be a group of people, you call it whatever you want to, that when you get out of line, that the community, the tribe itself, gets you back in line. So therefore, the teacher or whoever's educating you don't have to do it. The tribe itself does its own self-policing.
I'm with you on that. You know what? That's how the family was set up, by the way. And those guys would do stuff where, like, the guy had a wife and he was messing around with this other woman, and the family found out about it. What they would do is they would go talk to the mistress, talk to the wife and the husband, and get it all squared away. Get it all squared away, and then they'd be like, all right, so then the guy goes back to doing what he's doing, and everybody just moves forward with the program. The program being, we all gonna live a good life, we all gonna get along, we all gonna make our agenda is gonna move forward. And see, that is where the mindset is different in some folks. And don't get me wrong, they talk to people from Africa and all those different places.
But the thing is, it's structure. You have a structure in place to say, you know what, this has been researched, been found out, figured out, it works. So as long as we stick to the plan, everybody gonna eat. As long as we stay on this path, so you get out of line, know what, we're gonna bring you back in, make sure you good, make sure she good, and we're gonna keep moving forward. Because if one of y'all get out of line, then you come up missing, probably. I'm sure, for sure, that's probably gonna happen.
They don't come up missing, but they just get ostracized.
Shame.
And once you get ostracized,
shame,
you're just out.
You're
just
out.
Not shame, but you're just out of the mix.
Yeah.
Out of the mix, folks. Heaviest Radio Show, man. I hope you enjoyed the show today. It was everything that we always dreamed it to be. It was a little bit funny. It was a little it was a little bit informative. It was a little bit informative, and there was a whole lot of everything else. Hey, this is Musa Big House, man, for the crew. LGZ and Baku, the lady of the house, Run, EMC, the one, the only DJ, D-Lo G. I know I change it up every single
DJ
time.
Long Green. He has lots of names.
DJ Long
Books.
Green, man.
The one and only Books.
Check him
that
out.
too.
Hey, remember, we are where you are.
So get comfortable.
And come on in.
Yeah, man.